Games Olympique. We watched them play at the Summer Bash over in Blackpool. They're a phenomenal rugby side. I'm sure nobody's looking forward to going playing them over in France.
Well, James Charles just checking that everything is A-OK. And here we go then. And it is the Widnes Vikings who will have first use of the football. It's the meeting of the black and whites tonight. The Widnes side in black and white. Leigh Centurions, as you can see, in all black and getting stuck in very early on in the piece. And I must say, the pitch, I know it's an eye pitch, it's a plastic pitch, some people say. That's a little unkind, but the pitch looking in magnificent condition tonight, considering there were thousands of people here at the weekend to see the Elton John concert in glorious sunshine. And the Widnes Vikings and the Halton Stadium staff done a great job getting everything sorted, cleared away and ready for tonight's important match.
Well, Widnes will be looking to get off with a decent start. The Leigh fans booming. There goes Danny Craven.
Craven gets the ball wide, and here is Corey Thompson. Thompson back on the inside. That's a beautiful pass. And down goes Charlie Runciman.
He knocks on Charlie Runciman, but that's Widnes. And all of a sudden you think that you've got them where you want them. They'll shift the ball out wide. And you've got Danny Craven, who's been tremendous this year when he's had the opportunity, coming back from an injury, and the likes of Corey Thompson, the man who gets tackled and makes the mistake. Charlie Runciman hits in some decent form.
Well, there's the risk and reward, isn't there, of compressing the defence as Leigh did to make it hard for Widnes to make ground. They took the risk, they passed the ball wide, Widnes, and had great plead. I think we're going to see a lot from Danny Craven, their full-back tonight. He was the one instrumentally providing that pass, but good response from Leigh defence.
Yeah, great tackle from Josh Drinkwater that forced the error. And Rangi Chase at the heart of matters as well. And speaking to Dennis Betts before the kick-off, he's looking forward to seeing Rangi Chase in action again here tonight in the colours of the Widnes Vikings. Dane Weston takes the ball forward now for the Leigh Centurions. Elwar Pelissier is the man at dummy half, and he gets the ball away to Lachlan Burr, and the ball comes free but goes backwards, and it's still play on, and Weston will take it forward again. Weston playing through the pain barrier, that ankle injury that requires surgery almost immediately, and he'll have that next weekend after the trip to the Catalan Dragons, and then he will have his season ended by that injury, and it will be the end of Dane Weston's career. High kick here now, deep.
Give 10.
Well played.
Good positioning from that man Danny Craven. Ryan Hampshire gets the kick away. And Leigh Centurions, when you look at them play, it's nice and direct. As Widnes again look to shift it to the edge.
Once more it's with Runciman, he goes down. We'll play the ball to Houston, and he then gives it to Corey Thompson. Just over the halfway line now, the Widnes Vikings.
But you can already see the set-up shape that Widnes have got. It's out wide. They do the simple thing, they drop the players off, the offload here from Gildutton. It was a good pick-up from Jeremiah.
It was a brilliant pick-up, and it allows the big forwards like Jack Buchanan to cart the ball forward, halted though by the tackle from Weston and Atelier Bay. Now it's Hep Cahill, and he is clawed to the ground by Bay and Pelissier. Jeremiah once more, 20 metres out. A little stumble and a fumble from Mellor. Look at that bounce! Look at that bounce, the ball's all over the place. Oh, this could be a try, maybe. It's a big question mark. It's a huge question mark. They have a try on the field, though. Chris Bridge, isn't it?
I think it's a try, this. It was a wicked bounce. It goes over the top of Mitch Brown.
Well, I think he's looking at possible knock-on from the kick-through. They're all onside from there. Possible knock-on and the grounding of the ball. I think... obviously, that's coming from the Leigh players, so that won't be of any interest. Touch there by Leigh. I don't think it's touched by Bridge.
Is it Ryan Ince that knocks it forward? I think it is.
It's Ryan Ince, the right winger, that you just feel that his right arm's touched the ball. He's definitely in the field of play.
Where's his foot? Where's his foot? You can see he's all right at that point, but I think we need to go back to the just to see whether there's a touch. Well, that ball's certainly grounded okay. Is Robert Hicks happy with the way the ball ricocheted about in there? Obviously he is.
Looks like he is, and this is going to be a great start for the Vikings. It is for Chris Bridge. Another man who has announced his retirement pending at the end of the season. He was suspended for the defeat at St Helens.
Well, it's difficult. It's not as though they've chosen to let this rugby league football bounce, but it's gone up over the top of Nick Ralston. It's this movement. How does the ball move forward from there? I'm fascinated to understand why the video referee, given an opportunity, has not taken a second angle to see the balls that are now sitting in this position. How does it move forward so quickly? Is it Nick Ralston again?
Nick Ralston has had a couple of swipes at it. Unfortunately for young Nick Ralston, he's in all kinds of trouble, desperately trying to get hold of that. That's the point he pushes it forward or backwards towards his own try line. Bridge picks it up and scores a try for Widnes.
Well, he got a try, his first try of the season, in the second minute of the win at Leigh in April. And he has got his second try of the season in the third minute of the match here at Widnes against Leigh. So he obviously enjoys playing the Centurions, does Chris Bridge.
Well, you've got the running game of Joe Mellor to contend with, but also the short kicking game. The bounce beats everyone. Chris Bridge didn't make a play for it, knew exactly where he was, done exceptionally well to put that ball down. It's the start that Dennis Betts would have wanted.
The conversion by the try scorer missed. How about that for an acrobatic catch of the kickoff from Corey Thompson?
He's very athletic, isn't he, Corey Thompson?
Good start for Dennis Betts.
Well, that's what they would have taught about all week, returning stars for Widnes, but playing against a very determined Leigh side that took Wigan to task, didn't they? And they were very good in that game.
That victory was built on the back of completions. You can only see in the opening 4 and a bit minutes that Leigh want to complete, get to the kick. Unfortunately, what will undo all that good work will be penalties, cheap field position.
Corey Patterson it is, who's all over the grounded player, not allowing him to get to his feet and play the ball.
Well, Matt Whitley, he beat Corey Patterson, and it was his effort, his urgency to find his feet to play the ball that earns the side a penalty.
And Cahill drives the ball in once again. And here come the Vikings, and there's a mistake from Mellon. He was immediately clouted in the back, but the referee said that ball went backwards. He was clattered by the defender too.
It's Corey Patterson, Ed. Makes no mistake, gets good contact on him with or without the ball.
This Gil Dudson now, 70th Widnes appearance for Dudson. Just watch this, bang, what a hit from Corey Patterson, that one. Ball went backwards, that's why Widnes have it with Cahill, and he gets to within 10, maybe 11 metres of the line on tackle number 4. Herrenmeyer now with an angled run. Gets the pass away. Chase, that's a nice ball. And that's opened the door perfectly for Chris Houston. And Chris Houston touches down underneath the sticks. The brilliance of the pass from Rangi Chase was evident for all to see. Fooled the Leigh defence completely. They went to the right-hand side. There was a massive gap left. Chase spotted it, found Houston, and Chris Houston goes over for the try that increases the lead.
Well, he's a magician, isn't he, Rangi Chase? He's like a magnet for defenders. You've got an over chase, you don't know what he's going to do with the ball. The line and the angle that Chris Houston picks, it's fabulous. You can see straight at the line, pulls in the defenders, and the space is created. Look at this, nice simple play, everything's at the line, He drops the ball off, then he accelerates, and then Lachlan Burr thinks he still has the ball.
I spoke to 3 players from Leigh Centurions before the match, Nate. Every one of them. How can you defend against Rangi Chase? And they said, you've got to be patient, you can't over-chase, you can't present him with an opportunity, because he's smart enough to take that, but at times even he doesn't know what he's doing. You've just got to try and stay patient and not jump the line.
Well, Chris Bridge missed with the first conversion attempt. He won't miss with that because it's bang in front of the posts. And the scoreline now is 10-0 to the Widnes Vikings.
Well, we know he has a bag of tricks, Rangi Chase. Probably the greatest one is his ability to hide the ball from the defenders. And that split second in which they're unable to see what he's done with it, it's already too late, it's gone. It's a quickly delivered pass as soon as it's in his hands. And then he accelerated after having passed the ball. The acceleration of his body momentarily confused the defence.
Well, Rangi Chase and Joe Mellor partnered at half-back here tonight for the very first time, and already the partnership is proving fruitful indeed. And the try for Chris Houston, well, he is the top tackler this year for the Widnes Vikings, 537 before tonight. But, he was a try scorer on that occasion. And what a start for the Vikings this is, with 8 minutes on the watch.
Aaron Herremay did well to ride that tackle from Glenn Stewart. They're doing all the basics, coming out of trouble. They're getting to the kick, the big forwards are landing on the front. When there is space on the edge, looking to promote the ball.
Here is Mellor again, gets it wide to Bridge. Bridge hangs on, takes the tackle from Atelier-Vey. And Atelier-Vey got a bit of a bang in the chin from Chris Bridge as he tried to get back up to his feet. Chase with a high up and under that wasn't terribly brilliant because that went out on the floor.
Well, it wasn't helped by the fact that his pass to receive was very late from Ryan Ince. Perhaps interference, maybe behind the play of the ball, but on the last play, the kicker needs the ball early and then with a chance to do something with it.
It's a good decision to give Chris Bridge an early pass, give him a one-on-one. I think you're right. I think he was trying to force the whistle from the referee, playing for a penalty. Ultimately, it took time away from the dummy half, and that's why the kick was so poor.
Well, here now is Chris Bridge of the Leigh Centurions. He plays the ball to Elwar Pelissier, and Lachlan Burr takes the ball forward once again. Makes 10 good metres. Pelissier, the Frenchman, gets the pass away to Dane Weston. Another 10 metres made on tackle number 4, and they're going to get more ground now because Buchanan deemed to have been lying on in the tackle.
Well, you feel this is what they need. They've been doing the majority of defence in the opening 9 minutes of this game. They need the field position. They're going for the tap here.
Weston again with a solid run.
He's fulfilling a big role. Jamie Acton not playing in this match. He's trying to cover the hard work that player does.
3 Widnes defenders waiting to spring the trap.
Release it.
And they do.
Trying to make the ruck slow, Eddie.
Good ball from Stewart. Drinkwater, good hands, out wide they go. Rawston, oh, it was airborne. I think that was Danny Craven who got underneath it.
Incredible effort from Danny Craven. Ryan Ince, he pulled the trigger, he shot in, he tried to close the play down. The ball went out. And look at Danny Craven. He's the number 32, going across the back. All of a sudden you go the dive in the corner into great defensive read from Craven, the fullback.
Yeah, but it helped from Joe Mellor as well with the shoulder to the wheel. But Rawston almost a try on his debut for the Leigh Centurions. Look, airborne, had that push not come, he'd have been in.
Well, he gave it his best shot, didn't he, to get that try?
Well, just about the first 10 minutes, Widnes have got the energy to get across and make that. But as the game wears on and Widnes make more efforts in defence, they might not be able to get those quickly, and I suppose Leigh need to take half from that. It was well delivered by Mitch Brown, wasn't it? A catch and pass instantly, but on that occasion, Rawston couldn't get the ball down.
So super start so far for the Widnes Vikings, who are seeking a 3rd consecutive home win in the season, in which they lost their first 5 in front of their own supporters here. And here's the break on now, and it's Matt Whitley. And that was touched.
Play on.
It's going to be 6 to go at least. Whitley picks up the bouncing ball. Chase booming pass wide. On the bounce, he had to wait for it too, didn't he? Runciman gets the ball away. It's Hanson again. Well, if he's got this down, this is a wonder try. But I think James Giles says held up.
Tackle 1.
What a shame. Magnificent work from Widnes. All came off the back of a quick play the ball from Corey Thompson.
Great work.
70 metres. Commitment in defence from the Centurions. This is warming up to be a belter, this one.
Great commitment in defence from Mitch Brown. Dudson takes it forward on the second tackle. Remember, the referee wiped the tackle count down because it was touched in flight. Good drive forward by Buchanan. And he gets so close. Well, now then, the referee has spotted something possibly here.
I've got no try.
No try on the field, though.
Well, Head Cahill thinks this is a try. But again, good defence from Mitch Brown. Save one in the corner. I'm sure that he comes in, lends some weight, and does he prevent Widnes from grounding this ball?
Well, there's a period of time here where the referee can't see the ball, which is why he's referred it up. His instinct was that it hasn't been grounded. He's not seen it grounded, and I don't think there's anything there that suggests that it might have been.
I didn't see it on
Actually,
the line.
I think he's actually short of the line anyway.
Well, if he can't see it, then nobody can, because he's right on the spot.
Well, he's got the post pad.
He's right on the spot.
He's there now.
He's looking.
He's there now. When he gets there, he sees the ball's held up, but he doesn't know what's happened before that, and that's why he's referred it up. He's short of the line. This should be a play the ball.
Play the ball there. Just wait.
No try it is. The Viking telling us it was a bit iffy, and then give it the thumbs down, as did Robert Hicks, the video referee, and that's a drop ball. That was Danny Craven.
That's a disappointing end to a set in which they were held up over the try line or close to it on 2 occasions, but the Widnes supporters are happy with their attacking play. The pass doesn't find the man in the lead, just about surviving. 10-0 down with 12 gone. They didn't want that to extend to 16, and Craven's disappointment. He's the break by Whitley down one side of the field, knocked back there off a Leigh player and ends up back into the arms of Matt Whitley. They shift the ball to their left wing. Rangiches throws that pass, but bouncing allows the Leigh players to get back and cover. And although Chris Houston ends up over the line, he can't put it down.
I tell you, there, the number 17 did a fantastic job. There's 2 Widnes players in front of him.
Good work from Widnes, and as we saw, the Viking, I think he knew, the mascot, he knew that it was a no try. He wasn't confident. I wonder if he'll be confident on Saturday night, because Super League's having a race night on Saturday night at Haydock Park Racecourse, and there will be a Super League mascots race at around about 6 o'clock. And apparently I've got to get the hunting stick and the jodhpurs on and get ready, because I'm going to call the race.
It looked like he was going home then.
Well, I think he's in training for the big race on Saturday night, that's why. Should be a good night, the Super League race night at Haydock Park. This is Pelissier now, and he finds Glenn Stewart. Here's Drinkwater, danger when he has the ball in hand. And this man, Atelier standing in the tackle, gets the ball away as well. Good work from... Oh, that's a gift for Chris Bridge.
Good defence from both sides. You see Widnes with the energy to get in the line, make it messy, disrupt any of those offloads, and they get a reward. They catch a loose one. I think it's Chris Bridge in the right place at the right time.
Herremeyer gets the pass away from dummy half to Cahill. Glenn Stewart is there with a couple of others. And down he goes. Here is Mellor again. Mellor then finds Chase. The double pump from Chase. He's seeing loads of the ball, isn't he? The full-back, Danny Craven.
Well, don't forget he scored 3 tries, didn't he, when they played Widnes earlier in the year. He's got the ability to change direction quickly, and it's made him threatening so far tonight.
Buchanan takes it forward from Chase's soft hands pass. Herremeyer in at dummy half. 10 metres out. Here's Chase again. Stabs the ball in. Chasing it himself. Oh, and the ball is... His ball's knocked back there, I think. Is this... What's the referee going to give here? This is all over the place.
Last tackle, I got no try.
No try on the field.
The player wanted to take responsibility for it in the Leigh shirts.
The ball's bouncing around on this pitch. It's really lively, and it's giving Robert Hicks a busy night.
Well, it's given all officials a bit of a problem, but you know, that's what we've got. They're onside from the kick. Here's Chase's own kick. I think it comes back off Rangiches first of all. So it's touched by Leigh, goes backwards. Touched by Widnes, goes backwards. I can't see what happens there. Well, I think it's knocked on, going to the ground there, I think.
I think that's Matt Whitley, the player in the Widnes shirt, on the floor.
It is.
He's the person that when Rangiches bats it back is in the vicinity.
I think that was showed to be absolutely correct, that decision. Dennis Betts looks a little bit confused.
But again, close to the line, they're causing problems. The kicking game, the running game. The dangerous halfbacks in Rangiches and Joe Mellor.
I'm sure Eddie was clearly saw a knock-on in that replay. He's more confident than I am.
Good run again from Weston. 15 minutes gone. Widnes ahead 10-0. Leigh, though, in possession with this man Lachlan Burr again. That is. Well, just couldn't get hold of it. That was all it was. The ball certainly wasn't grounded, whether it was a knock-on or not. Harrison Hansen now to the halfway line for Leigh. Pelissier, Ryan Hampshire had a big game against his former club Wigan 2 weeks ago when we saw that match live on Sky. Harrison Hansen did as well, but that's great tackling by Chris Houston once again.
There's a couple of loose offloads from Leigh early on in this game, panicking, throwing the ball on the floor, losing yards.
I'll tell you what, if Dane Weston's season and therefore his career is over in about a week's time with an ankle injury, he's running around full of gusto here tonight, isn't he? There he is. That's a poor kick, though. There he is, Weston, been a great servant. Not only for the club, but in the community as well.
Yeah. It's a strange medical decision, doesn't it? He's okay to play tonight, but won't be in 2 or 3 weeks' time.
I think he'll be having some pain management to play, and then during the week, he might not be able to get on the training field, and at some point, during a player's career, you have to make a decision for the rest of your life, and that's perhaps where he is.
With all due respect, he was brilliant in the Championship. He's not quite hit those heights this season.
Release. Hold.
Well, that's the diagnosis. That's the plan. This is Chris Bridge. Good run from Bridge. Still going is Chris Bridge. Solid stuff. The Televeol over the top. Here's Aaron Herremeyer again. Hep Cahill once more. He seems to me to be the binding that holds this Widnes team together.
He's been the best player this year for the Vikings.
Dodson now, short ball and flat into the arms of Jack Buchanan.
Harrison, move. You had him. Hold. Go.
Herremeyer. Once again, it's Chase. Oh, well, Danny Craven did brilliantly to get hold of that.
He just didn't read his lines then. Rangi Chase had thrown a long pass, kept hold of it and created some space for the fullback.
Chase's high kick. Fielded by Corey Patterson.
Stand, hold, hold. Go.
This is where the Centurions have got to work hard now. They've
Rosland's dropped that, I think.
They'll give a penalty here for
the shoulder.
Been stolen. James Sharp, the referee. The ball was stripped here. It was a good initial contact from Aaron Herremeyer. Just has a little tug of the ball, says the referee.
Light engage.
Well, his hands are around the ball, aren't they? It's another one of those. Hands go around the ball comes loose. Referee goes with the ball carrier.
They're putting Rowstone under some pressure, aren't they? Whether they're kicking it high to him or just sending numbers at him. I think he's in for a busy night, the young winger.
Probably so. This is Anthony Maria, the Frenchman. 9 times a French international. First involvement gets a penalty.
Come out of the back.
Well, this will help the Leigh Centurions, and again, sometimes it's the simple plays. When you fight, you try and gain every metre that you can by your work ethic. You're putting your hand up to carry the ball, even though you know you're going to get clattered. And Gil Dudson just hanging on too long, and Dennis Betts already will be sending out a message saying that we've got to be more disciplined.
Well, Leigh, who are on the attack here now, can actually go above Warrington with a win tonight. The Wolves have got the Catalan Dragons as their visitors on Saturday. Here is Ryan Hampshire at the line. That's a big hit on Mitch Brown.
Charlie Runciman spotted that, and again, look at the effort here from the Vikings players. Do you know, that lifts the spirit to the players, it lifts the spirit to the fans. Charlie Runciman, as soon as he spotted that ball, it was predictable, it was out the back. He sits back, he times the tackle to perfection, and then when he hits him, he doesn't want to take him to ground. He fights to hold him up. Corey Thompson comes in. We've got Aaron Herremeyer, and that's a team effort to get them off the field of play. Look at this. Bang. Keeps pumping those legs and gets Mitch Brown off the field, and he's a big player as well, Mitch Brown.
It was a tackle to me that felt as though it was worth points on the scoreboard, and so the supporters celebrated as such. Really, it was significant that the first time they conceded 2 penalties back-to-back that allow Leigh to get into that 20-metre zone, but they confirm that their concentration is still on the spot.
It's Runciman taking the ball forward from the scrum. The man who, with a little bit of help, produced that tackle. Nothing illegal about it either, and Matty Dawson did his best to stop his colleague going out of the field of play, but couldn't do anything about it in the end.
This is tremendous work from Widnes. They've forced the mistake. They're on the front foot and trying to put some pressure on the Centurions.
Houston now. Tackled by 3, he's put down on his back, and Runciman waits. We'll give it to Chase here. And Chase, those trademark lateral runs, then he finds Mellor. Good work in defence though, no progress forward there by Widnes on that tackle. Herremeyer now down the right-hand side. Chase just thumps the ball down the touchline, 1 bounce and then into touch, going for territory.
Well, not a big angle for Rangi Chase, but he knew exactly where he was, what he had to do. 20 minutes on the clock now. You've got to say the start of the games belonged to the Vikings, the way that they've been controlled by that man, and also Joe Mellor, the way the forwards have carried the ball. The forwards are winning the early exchanges, but Leigh are a good side. They can score points. They scored 50 points against Wigan. They
Yes, they
conceded
did.
10 points here.
Last time out, 8 tries the Centurions scored, 50 points to 34 winners against the champions. We will see Leeds and Castleford tomorrow night at 7:30 on Sky Sports 3 from the Betfred Super League. One of the most eagerly awaited contests of the season for the Rhinos, having been put to the sword by the Tigers twice already this season. And the Castleford Tigers, of course, leading the table by 6 clear points at the moment. Stewart gets the ball away. Good footwork by Ryan Hampshire, but it was watched all the way. Here is Pellissier. Just stuttered a little bit as he had to take the tackle, waiting for a bit of support to arrive. Last tackle here for Leigh then. Hampshire now. High off the right boot. The ball has bounced on this solid surface and has been claimed by Houston.
He gets that ball, doesn't he, Corey Thompson? He was looking at where that ball was coming down, looked up, spotted a Leigh Centurions player, Matty Dawson, in front of him, but probably the biggest man on the pitch rescues the situation. There goes Eamon O'Carroll.
That's his MO. 10 metres, play the ball, lands on his elbows and knees and plays it quick for the person behind him.
Eamon O'Carroll will be delighted to be on the field again. A little bit injury prone over the course of his 12 years as a professional. Only 152 appearances in those 12 years. That tells its own story.
Hold. Go.
Widnes are on halfway. Chase with the ball down the line. Doesn't find touch on this occasion. Brown runs it out, but only as far as the chest of Houston and the arms of Runciman.
This is where Leigh need to work very hard now. The back three start winning a couple of plays to help the forwards in that battle. There's Rawstorn going on the back of Matty Dawson and Mitch Brown, but again the Widnes defence, they're hitting in numbers, they're making the rucks really slow.
Was impressive in his opening 3 matches for Hull. Obviously has found opportunities a little bit difficult to come by. Nick Rawstorn, so signed here on a loan from Hull this week. Immediately thrust into the action. Good hit on Anthony Maria. And that was Eamon O'Carroll again, with a bit of help from Cahill. Liam Hood's on the field, as you just saw, 21. Drinkwater's kick has gone straight up in the air. Don't let this bounce. Look where it goes on this pitch.
He's kneed that forward.
He has.
Drinkwater. Impressive. Ryan Ince gets hold of it, tries to feed Corey Thompson. How strong is he?
What a good run.
We'll miss him next year.
What a great start to this game for Widnes. They've played for 23 minutes. On our records, they haven't missed a tackle. They've made very few errors with the ball, and it's clear both teams with 2 weeks to prepare. Well, there's no excuses here, is there, for any fatigue?
Yeah, Barry referencing the fact that Widnes will miss Corey Thompson next year. He will leave at the end of the season. He's going to go to the West Tigers, where he'll team up with Hull's Mahe Fanua back in the NRL. Chris Bridge now is completely surrounded. And down he goes. 4 tackles gone. It's Rangi Chase. Now Houston. Good tackling now by Glenn Stewart.
Keep coming, Sam. Okay.
And this time a kick to test Mitch Brown. Mitch Brown comes up with the take.
It's a good kick that's dealt with fairly easily by Mitch Brown, but that's the versatility of Widnes. Because Rangi Chase was involved, there's the catch. And the fullback, Danny Craven, he stepped in and put that towering kick up to Leigh.
What about that shot from Matt Whitley then across the line? If you go sideways across the line, you make yourself an easy target.
Telebay goes to ground on tackle number 4. This is a solid Widnes defence, both ends of the field. Oh, Ben Crooks with a little... it wasn't Ben Crooks, I beg your pardon. It was Sam Hopkins. Little fumble of the ball, but he held on.
40.
Deep kick from defence, but into the arms of Corey Thompson once again.
Tremendous defence from Widnes, Eddie. Tremendous, because you think he kicked from within inside his own 30-metre zone. At this point in the game, the majority of possession, they've controlled it well, but this is fascinating to see whether Leigh can remain calm. Sometimes people get nervous, the scoreboard's 10-0 against them. But can they play with an ignorance of that and continue to do the things that they think will help them win this match?
Cahill is underneath the tackle.
Go 3.
And plays the ball there to Lloyd White, who has been thrust back into the Super League action by coach Dennis Betts.
4, out to Liam, move!
Alex Gerrard likewise.
Keep coming, Liam. Go 4.
Here comes Eamon O'Carroll. Looks for the runner, Chase. And Rangi Chase just stopped because he saw that every white jersey had gone ahead of him.
I think he was trying to fool. Was it Ryan Hampshire, who had none of it? As soon as he was a sitting target, he got him.
Mellor will drill the ball along the ground and with fine touch.
Quite a nice simple set from Widnes, hitting either side of the play, the ball marching Leigh backwards. And then when it gets to the final players in the set, Joe Mellor steps up, kicks the ball off the field. And like Phil said, defensively down here, they've been pressuring Leigh. They've not been able to chew those meters up. And when they are getting to the kick, Widnes are catching the ball 30 meters from their own line.
Dennis will fancy his chances of a Super League home and away double against Leigh. That would be a boost ahead of a potential third meeting if they do both end up in the qualifiers. Oh, that's a nice break. This is a tremendous break from Mitch Brown. And Widnes chasing back to bring him to the floor, but they don't get him down on the first effort. Oh, the referee says he was tackled.
Tackle 1.
What a nice step from Mitch Brown. I think he beat Tom Alderson. Big left foot step. Gets Leigh right up the other end of the field.
Time on.
Great run from the fullback. And here comes Sam Hopkins again.
And this is where they need to build pressure now. The likes of Drinkwater and Hampshire really need to step up.
Maria, Hampshire gets the pass away to Hansen. And the trap was sprung for Harrison Hampson. That's a penalty. He shouted held, told them to release him, and Houston and co could not resist the temptation but to dump him on his back. Houston, top tackler, try scorer tonight. He's also the most penalised player in the Super League. 21, that's now 22 against his name.
Come on, keep coming. Come on, Chris.
Great competitor, but sometimes he just doesn't quite get it right with the referees.
Move, Chris.
Hansen hands on, a metre or so short, and they're appealing Widnes for a knock on. The decision is not coming, so they come this way. And it's Ben Crooks who has it. Liam Holmes a push and a shove at the dummy half. This is Liam Hood, and Liam Hood is held up.
Good defence.
Liam Hood's in great form. The form of his life, probably. Certainly in the win against Wigan he was. Came home and scored a couple of tries off the bench, looking to do same again tonight. But Widnes muscling up in defence. Back they come 10 metres. The tackle count continues. Long pass to Drinkwater. Drinkwater trying to slide it behind the defenders. But again, this Widnes defence stands firm as a rock, and a little shake of the head, perhaps, did I see that from Neil Dukes.
Well, you've got to credit the defence, but it was a poor kick, wasn't it, from Drinkwater? Two passes had got to the other side of the field, and then to finish the set off like that wasn't good enough for Neil Dukes.
Hold. Go 3.
Lloyd White to his feet. Tom Alderson takes it forward over halfway. We go down the right-hand side now with Mellor, and that was a clever pass, but it wasn't read by the Widnes player. So here is Stewart.
0. Move.
But he goes across the line, tries to drop Matt Whitley off inside of him. Unfortunately, couldn't take that ball.
There seems to be much energy on the field, and I know that Leigh 14 days in preparation for this, Widnes 13. It just shows you what can happen when the players get a breath.
It's amazing as well, though, when you get some players back, isn't it? You get some players back, all of a sudden the players on the pitch who've been playing and toughing it out in the season get the confidence.
And when you consider we're watching teams 11th and 12th in the table, this is a good quality contest.
Said to you before the game, didn't I? I expected it to be a real good game.
This is Maria. And Hansen tries to bounce off the tackle of Chase. Houston was in there to bring him down. 5 gone now. Last one then here. Drinkwater with the left boot. High, it goes high. And this should be taken cleanly in goal, and it is by Ryan Ince.
Leigh are asking for a late challenge. Sorry, Eddie. Drinkwater, I think it is, when he puts that ball up. He ends up on the floor. And Chris Houston lucky to get away with that one, I think.
Rangy Chase plays the ball. That was Runciman. Here is Thompson. Just over halfway. Penalty. Hopkins would not release him and allow him to get to his feet.
Then he's another one of those players who just gives it his all, Corey Thompson. He can certainly score tries, but he's also doesn't shirk the hard stuff as well when he's got to take the ball back into the middle of the field, looking to get those quick play the balls.
Good length on the penalty as well from Danny Craven. Widnes begin this set of 6, 25 metres out. They get over the first 5, courtesy of Eamon O'Carroll. That's Lloyd White. Alberson drops the pass off Rangy Chase. They come back down the short side again. Craven trying to resist the challenges. Referee shouts held and release. They do. White. Chase again in centre field. Alberson on a solid run. Good tackle that was. Chase again. Dipping pass in front of Mellor. Bridge is going out the field of play. Referee said play on. Both sides.
I think he got rid of it, Chris Bridge. It was a bit of a fumble. That half a second took the time away from Chris Bridge. He flings it back inside, and Leigh will have to work hard now. Good defence, good recognition there. Corey Patterson normally plays his rugby league as an 11, 12, 13. He's playing in the centre this evening.
He was impressive there against Wigan.
Yeah, he's a big thing as well. I was looking at him on the sideline, must be 6'4", 6'5". Very athletic, very agile. That's good defence as well.
There's solid stuff from Rangy Chase. Lovely comment from Barry McDermott. A big thing. That's pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah, but he's big and tall.
You're just big and solid. We are 10 metres away from half-time, from the halfway, and about 7.5 minutes away from half-time. Alberson takes it forward again for Widnes. Been their half, only 10-0. Scoreline doesn't really reflect the superiority. This might help. From wide to Thompson again. He slaps away a couple of would-be defenders, then has the temerity to go past him. And I think this could be a try. It depends whether he's got a foot in touch. James Child will take advice from the touch judge, and it's a question of what the decision on the field is.
All right, thank you.
There's no problem with this. The little bit of wet.
Tackle 2, we've got a try. Check the instructions and touch, please.
Can't see a problem with this one.
There's a few collisions, isn't there, while that ball is being
What a waltz.
passed around.
What a waltz around.
It is, and well, that might have caused some confusion with touches. Jack Smith down here looking for a possible obstruction and to check the touch. I think it's when it gets over to Corey Thompson. There's definitely some interplay with his inside centre. I think it's there. I don't think there's a problem with that. He holds there. They regain the line. There's certainly no disadvantage to the Leigh defenders, and it's whether he gets the ball down safely without touching the line. I'm certainly happy with what's gone on around the players there.
It's this here, isn't it?
Yeah, here's
That
another
one
view.
there.
Well, that one's there. The players come from behind Corey Thompson, the Leigh player, so I don't think that's a case of obstruction. There's nobody obstructed there. I don't think anybody's disadvantaged, so it's just down to the grounding. Doesn't want to touch the line with any part of his body. He's got to get the ball down.
Corner post doesn't matter.
Corner post, as you say, it doesn't matter, and it looks like he's going to get that down before he goes into touch.
What an effort. What an effort this is.
He certainly knows how to finish a try, doesn't he? Look at that, he gets low. Mitch Brown's trying everything.
If this is given, and it's going to be, because we've seen that grounding twice now, it'll be 5 tries in 5 for Corey Thompson. 5 in 5 it is. 10 out of 10 for Widnes in this first half. They lead 14 points to 0.
There's some really nice work in the build-up of this try. A couple of double pumps, fixing up defenders. This is a nice offload. He's just come onto the pitch, Tom Alderson. He throws it blind to a call, I'd like to believe. And watch that, double pump from Lloyd White, double pump again. And all he does is he just simply keeps going. He's looking, he's weighing up his options. He thinks that the space is behind him, runs right into it, and that's a top-class, first-rate finish.
A miss, though, just a few moments ago from Chris Bridge. And so 14-0 it stays. Bridge's try, Houston's try, Thompson's try, only one improved by Chris Bridge. This, though, probably the pick of them.
This is a great finish in the corner, isn't it? But I believe that the foundations for this try were laid a minute or two before it, when Rangi Chase made a tackle on a lead player. And when you can get your best attacking player to want to defend with the energy and enthusiasm he showed moments or two ago, then you've got a real chance. That's the key to Widnes' hope for success tonight, and the reason why at the moment they've got a substantial lead.
Well, we've had 4 video ref decisions tonight, and Robert Hicks has given the green light to 2 of them and the red light to 2, Bridge and Thompson. The coaching staff at Widnes will be pleased enough. Dennis Betts, and on the right, on the left there, Brett Hodgson, who prior to the appointment of Steve McNamara was being tipped to be a possible Catalan Dragons coach.
Stay outside.
Well, here's this tackle here by Rangi Chase. Look, picking up Harrison Anson, driving him backwards, and I think that not only lifted himself, but I think it's lifted the Widnes side. They're really buzzing for this one tonight.
6 minutes to half-time. They have a 14-point advantage.
Hold. Go.
Rangi Chase playing a full part in tonight's proceedings so far. Of course, formerly with Leigh. He only made 5 appearances for them last year. And he's at Widnes on loan until the end of the season from Castleford.
Okay, 2.
My word, how on earth did that one come free? It was a tremendous offload, and well, they just got a little bit too overcomplicated then. Ryan Ince and Chris Bridge.
A bit of panic set in from Matt Whitley when he was getting dominated in defence. He looks to offload the ball.
Yeah, it's off, mate.
And then Ryan Ince makes the mistake from the pass from Chris Bridge.
Right, it's off, mate. It's off.
Again, willing to throw the ball around, aren't they? They're pulling the lead defenders out the line. They're making them make the wrong decisions, and Ryan Ince has really stepped up this year and been in tremendous form.
Incredible to believe that before tonight, Widnes have scored the fewest points in Super League this year, only 297, and only the Catalan Dragons 515 have conceded more than their 492. You wouldn't believe that we're watching the team sitting at the foot of the table tonight, or indeed the team just one place above them and a point ahead of them, because Leigh are taking part in what is a good contest here. And here is Hampshire, gets it away to Brown, and Brown will have a dash for the line, but then again, good defence from Widnes. Ben Crooks is the dummy half, back it comes, a bit untidy to Ryan Hampshire, but on the half volley it's picked up. He then finds Glenn Stewart. 12 metres out, the Leigh Centurions. What would they give for a try before half-time? Solid run again from Sam Hopkins. Last tackle coming up. They're screaming for the ball to be played out this right-hand side. It goes up the middle with Maria, and I think he might have got this down, or was it a double movement? Was it a bounce? It's touch and go, I think. What's the decision on the field? Nothing on the field going upstairs to the video referee, Robert Hicks. From this angle, Stuart, it looked like he was short, but maybe momentum took him over and he bounced across.
I thought he was short, and then he got held up over the line, but this will tell us, well, he's certainly short on the first occasion. His momentum's still going, but he's got to touch that line. And the ball's up off the line at that point. And, I think Widnes players have got around him. Danny Craven looks to be underneath the ball. At that point, can't see the ball on the ground. I think this will go with the referee's on-field decision from what we've seen so far. Definitely short there. The ball's got to be over the line.
Does it touch? No, it doesn't touch here.
It's lifted up there, and then it's off the ground after that.
What about the effort from Chris Houston as Maria's going over the line to get underneath him, twist him around so he can't ground the ball? And Danny Craven comes in, tries to hold him up, and I agree with you, Stuart.
And you would forgive Chris Houston with that unwanted tag of Super League's most penalised player, wouldn't you? when you see work like that.
You said it, Eddie.
Yeah, but as I'm saying, you will forgive him.
Yeah. Also, look at where James Child is getting himself into position to view that. He sent it up as no try, and his gut feeling was correct.
Looks like no try, lead denied.
It's a turnover.
Neil Duke's a little bit concerned, but I think the evidence was clear. Maria so close, but not close enough.
Well, it doesn't look much, the effort from Chris Houston, but it's massive. Would have been 6 points, and then all of a sudden, Leigh, all of a sudden think, yeah, we're back in this game. We can certainly do it. We've got another 40 minutes. We'll get to half-time, listen to what the coach says, and now they know that they've not had the things go their way. They're 14 points behind going into half-time.
Well, they're flying into the tackle here, Leigh. They're looking for a mistake from Widnes to try and give them good field position. Inside the 40-metre zone there, a kick from dummy half by Lloyd White, but picked up by Mitch Brown the other end of the field. The chase from Widnes is good.
And Widnes realised that Leigh Centurions had certainly upped the ante. They were looking to make the mistake. And all of a sudden they thought, now, we won't have any of this. We'll kick it on the third play. We'll try and take the game to them up their end of the field.
Matty Dawson has been kept pretty quiet by Widnes tonight. On the ball now, just shy of halfway. Here comes Ben Crooks. Solid defence again. He will be delighted with the defence, Dennis Betts.
He's come up with a couple of bell ringers, Eamon O'Carroll, the substitution.
Decent run. Decent run from Hopkins. Liam Hood again, the dummy half, goes down the left-hand side. The kick from Drinkwater comes across towards the posts. Maria is after it. Oh, that's play on. That's his play on. He has, I think, gifted the possession here, and he has, and away goes Corey Thompson. Weaving run from Thompson.
Straight into Sam Hopkins, probably one of the biggest players on the pitch for Leigh.
It was a bizarre kick. You could see what he's thinking, but Corey Thompson was a lot closer than any other Leigh Centurions player. He gets that ball, he kicks it instinctively. Corey Thompson, as I say, quality performer for the Vikings.
Hold. Got 3.
So here comes Alberson again. And Alberson has lost the ball forward, so 0 tackle. This is a free play. A Televe with a smack in the face for Lloyd White. The referee will bring them back for the original offence, the knock on. And there's chances here for Leigh with just less than 2 to go to the half-time siren.
Time off.
Well, on halfway now for the Centurions. Tom Alberson, he goes into contact. He hits, he spins, he's looking for an offload. That's what the referee, James Child, was saying to him. You've got to have better control over this ball.
Second row,
You've got to brace yourself on contact and make sure that you've got a nice tight grip of the ball.
Well, if you're trying to imagine which one of these Leigh players is going to pose you the biggest threats, Eddie, I think it will be Ben Crooks from right centre. He's not been given a one-on-one situation here yet. The last time they came wide, it went to Mitch Brown, and he was carried over the sideline a long time ago. But in this set, can they find Crooks?
That's the first tackle gone. It's a big set for both these two sides immediately before half-time. Glenn Stewart was grounded on the first tackle, and then they've surrendered on the second.
Another great tackle, and the bench made a real impact. Alberson, Gerard White and Eamon O'Carroll all come on and lifted the intensity for the Vikings.
Chris Bridge, flat run, they can't get him down. They still can't get him down. Chris Bridge, he then brings Runciman into it. He's got Rangi chasing support. Runciman was looking for Chase, and Chase had gone left. It might have done better staying right. Houston now. There's Chase again. He gives a little sign. Come on back on me inside. Then goes wide and finds Craven. Further wide to Matt Whitley. Whitley then keeps it going and finds Joe Mellor. Mellor then. Good ball. There's a chance for Houston. Second try for Houston. Second try for Chris Houston. Could have been 14-6. As it is, it looks like Widnes are going to turn round 20-0 to the good.
Well, Tom Alberson comes up with the mistake early on, but then he makes up for it with his hit under the ball, which gets Widnes the ball back. And the amount of Widnes players that had passed the ball, then they run behind, they were reloading. Look at this, Rangi Chase, he finds himself in front of the play of the ball, he gets back behind the ball, comes up with a pass that goes to ground, and Widnes all of a sudden looking to offload the ball. Nice, clean, soft hands, and you can see the footwork at the line. And look at this, Chris Houston.
Incredible try for Chris Houston, and you know, when you think about it, there's the half-time siren. Houston, had he got over in this near corner earlier on in the first half, added to the 2 he scored, he might well have been celebrating a career first hat-trick tonight.
Well, just offers himself, yeah. Well, still another 40 minutes to go, Eddie.
There is, and the problems for Neil Dukes, Paul Cook and the Leigh Centurions.
Some good work done from Rangi Chase, who worked really hard to get into position.
Bridge has added the extras from bang in front. So a very good 40 minutes work from the Widnes Vikings. Dominating proceedings from really the opening exchanges, and Chris Bridge with his second try of the season against Leigh after only 3 minutes. Houston then with his first 3 of the last 4 home games against St Helens, Leeds and the Catalan Dragons. The only fly in the ointment was Hull, who won here by 33 points to 22. Widnes on that occasion led 22-0 at one stage and then fell away. So there is still hope springing eternal for the Centurions at this moment in time.
They've got to work really hard, haven't they? They've got to work hard to break down Widnes' defence, because the majority of the play of the balls have been down in their own half. They've not had the chance, and the chance that they have had, they've not converted those into points. And you look at the missed tackles by Widnes in the first half, just 3, whereas Leigh Centurions 18.
Well, I'm sure that Neil Dukes would have had something to say about the Centurions in that first half. They weren't that far off. The trouble was that Widnes just out-enthused them, but that was forward. And he will not be happy with that start. A forward pass from his star man, Josh Drinkwater, and, well, Mitch Brown did his best.
Well, he was forced into that.
Who would be a coach?
No, not me for sure. But you can see Tom Alberson, he was hunting Drinkwater on the inside.
Second row.
And that's a sign of a good defensive side, when players are hunting from the inside, pushing the team sideways, and you force a man of that calibre to make the mistake and throw that 50-50 pass.
Phil, can I ask you this? How could it go so right a fortnight ago against Wigan for Leigh, and so far just gone so wrong tonight?
Well, John Wilkie made a great point before the game that emotionally that was a supercharged game to play against the Wigan Warriors. They got off to that dream start with Ryan Hampshire's interception try that really got them onto a roll. They're playing against the team far better here tonight, and you see here that even with that 2 weeks preparation, we hear a lot of coaches complain about the volume of games that sometimes players play in a week. Well, even with 2 weeks, it's not been successful in getting Leigh to peak for here this tonight.
Not so far, and we have 38 minutes of the match remaining, but Widnes looking in no mood to surrender tonight as Alex Gerrard struggles to get to his feet. Does so eventually. Here is Eamon O'Carroll, now Mellor gets the ball away. Danny Craven, who saw a gap and went for it. Was looking to get the penalty then. Boyd White, Rangi Chase. Outside of the boot, a kick to the in-goal area, collected by Brown, who goes to ground, and he gets the ball grounded over the whitewash, the right side of the whitewash. Good work from the Leigh full-back down.
He does well to get down, doesn't he, Mitch Brown? He's very big at the back. And the kick from Rangi Chase, it was timed to perfection. Again, look at the hit. 3, hitting in numbers, slowing the play of the ball down. It's a tough carry, this next one.
Well, it might be worth looking at what's to come for these two sides in the weeks ahead. After this, for Widnes, they're at Wigan away, Huddersfield away, Wakefield here, and then at Warrington in round 23, and that is a match that you will be able to see live here on Sky Sports. So it's difficult for them, and after this, for Leigh, they go to the Catalan Dragons with the new coach Steve McNamara now in charge. Then they go to both Warrington and Huddersfield before they face Salford at home in round 23. So it is a tough run in for both of these sides, who are stranded at the wrong end of the table. But a good run of form would take them maybe to 9th, maybe to 10th, maybe even into the top 8 itself. And the beauty about getting 9th or 10th is they get 4 home stabs in the qualifiers.
And realistically, that's what the players and the coaches will be looking for.
Good ball again from Chase. He finds Danny Craven, who took that in well with the left hand. Referee shouts held. Craven is released. Thompson waits behind him at dummy half. Chase once again just drops the pass off for O'Carroll to charge it forward.
He's got very good body angles every time he carries the ball. Look how quick he plays the ball. Eamon O'Carroll, there's a mistake.
Mistake from Chase. Rarity in this match tonight. Let's get the half-time news, shall we? Angela Powers was earwigging at the doors.
Was indeed. It's a happy Dennis Betts that I spoke to. He's got a couple of areas where he'd like to see some improvements, and one of them is to complete their sets a little bit better. 20-0 ahead, not yet won the game though, he says. Keep on doing what we're doing, polish up a little bit in their performance, and he says they should get the result if they carry on doing that. But Neil Dukes, well, he wants to see a lot of changes. He said they've been second best at everything. Their kicking game was disgraceful, he said, and the line speed hasn't been much more impressive either. He wants to see an attitude that mirrors what Widnes have thrown at them in the first half as well. It could go one of two ways, and he wants it to go their way.
Hasn't gone their way there.
Okay, let's form up.
They are, I'm afraid, just helping their own downfall along.
Well, they've not been second.
Maria with the knock-on.
Haven't been second best at knock-ons, have they? They lead the way in that. And that's a poor start in with you 20 points nil down in the first 5 minutes.
Arms around, please.
Making it virtually possible. The only hope of winning this game is to prevent Widnes from scoring next.
Alberson, Televe, and a penalty conceded because of the hand in at the ball.
They keep the pressure on here. Tom Alberson again, not been dominated by Attilia there. Quick tap.
Gerrard takes it to within 12 metres of the line. He's rolled back a metre or so on the ground. There's Lloyd White. White gets it away to Rangi Chase. Chase a short ball. Danny Craven, and he's just short of the line.
Decks himself well into the line, doesn't he, Danny Craven? Hits the ball at speed.
Once again, it's Chase. Dummy, and he fooled everybody, including maybe one or two of his own players, but he couldn't get away from Liam Hood or Televe. Here is Mella. Mella drops the pass off. It's Chris Bridge again. He runs straight then. Takes it back where all the heavy traffic was. Goes down almost where the last play of the ball was made. Short ball from Lloyd White. Off the fingertips of White and off the fingertips of Chase. A second knock-on, a second mistake from Rangi in the opening 6.5 minutes of this second half.
It's a little bit too sloppy for Rangi's liking. He wants early ball. He wants to create some havoc. The bouncing ball is just a little bit too much for him. Phil, in the first half, you talked about the anxiety of the scoreboard. Now, those Leigh Centurions players have gone into the changing room. They've discussed what they need to do. They will have talked about the changing rooms, and it goes without saying that the Centurions need to score next, but they don't need to score on every play, and that might be the updoing of them in this early part of the second half.
Eddie, there was a stat that came on the bottom of the screen then, 7 errors from each side, but it's where Leigh are making the errors, it's in their own half. They're failing to get to the kick, whereas Widnes are making the mistakes close to Leigh's line.
Maybe something building for the Centurions here then. But Danny Tickle, back on familiar territory, goes down in the tackle. Here's a Televe, long flowing black locks, a rock back with the ferocity of that challenge. Liam Hood, that's good play. Found Glenn Stewart, who looked for the runner, and he arrived, but it's tackle number 5. And so Drinkwater gets the kick away, and the retreating Danny Craven pouches it safely 5 or 6 metres away from his own line.
Too easy for Danny Craven. It was a nothing kick. Kicked high in hope more than anything. Just trying to buy some field position for Leigh Centurions.
It's a big couple of sets in defence here for Leigh Centurions. Take the meters off Widnes. Make sure that they try and slow these play the balls down as Chris Bridge, all the outside backs getting involved here. Really just gets held up near the touchline.
Chris Bridge finds Lloyd White, who in turn finds Rangi Chase. He drops the ball off and Gerrard will straighten it up for Widnes.
Go.
White again, Chase once more. Deft kick to the corner, an invitation for the runner. Oh, he nearly got there as well, did Corey Thompson.
He's going to have a look at this, because if Matty Dawson knocked the ball out of the field, well, was it Corey Thompson?
All he's doing is checking the restart, Stuart.
He's checking the restart. He's called a 20-metre restart. He thinks Corey Thompson touched that last, and I think that proves him right. Does touch and goal, so this will be a 20-metre restart.
Matty Dawson wasn't going to take any chances, was he?
And it's very hard to beat a team, but they've got that sort of enthusiasm. They'll chase kicks there when little people give them a chance. The defence, they've been pushing the lead player back with 3 men in the tackle. They've been controlling the muck area. Every energy indicator is a positive one at the moment for the Widnes side. It's going to be so difficult. We'll need a dramatic turning point in this game for Leigh to swing back into control, or even give them some chance of contention.
Well, even though Widnes have a great record in Super League against the Leigh Centurions, prior to tonight they haven't beaten Leigh at home since 2008 in the Championship. Here's a chance for Ryan Hampshire. He has a ton of support with him, and that's Mitch Brown. But look at that quality defence again from Corey Thompson. Drinkwater. Long booming pass from him. It's a stroll in here for Nick Rawsthorne on his debut. And Nick Rawsthorne scores the try that just might breathe life into the Leigh Centurions. From Hull this week, he was impressive, as I said earlier, in those first 3 appearances for Hull. A couple of tries and a couple of goals in those. This is important, it might be.
Well, it's a big play, isn't it, from Ryan Hampshire, who gets through the line, he gives it to Mitch Brown. Then all of a sudden they don't panic. Widnes trying to get back, but they've got numbers out on their left side. And what about this for the ball from Josh Drinkwater? Gives the ball to Rawsthorne, who's just holding shape out on the wing. And to pass the ball like he does here, Drinkwater, that's a sign of a classy, confident player. Hits the ball right on the button, and Leigh are back in this game.
I think what's possibly the most important feature, Eddie, of this try is the 10 metres more that Nick Rawsthorne gains for his teammate and goal kicker. By bringing the ball closer to the goalpost, they need every possible point if they're going to come back into this one.
So it's Josh Drinkwater then to try and add the extras, and this really would breathe life into the Centurions. And he has kicked it straight and true, 20 points to 6. I just had the thought at the back of my mind, I didn't say it when we had the 2 little errors from Rangi Chase where the Widnes were just beginning to put the cue on the rack.
Or maybe the door was slightly open, slightly ajar, and Leigh Centurions did bust away. And 2 crucial involvements by the players who need to impose their will upon this game. Josh Drinkwater, Ryan Hampshire, both involved in the setup of that try, and it's just what Leigh needed.
Well, I mentioned earlier they were 22-0 up at one stage against Hull here in their only defeat in the last 4 home games. They fell away, did Widnes, and they paid the price. They lost 33-22. Surely, in midsummer as we are now, with lightning all around the country over the past 48 hours, it ain't going to strike twice at the Select Security Stadium, is it?
Well, we'll have to wait and see, but it's going to be interesting to see the reaction from both sides. What will Widnes do now? They've conceded a try. What will Leigh do? They certainly look like they've found some belief, don't they? Looking for the penalty then, Liam Hood.
There was a slight difference, of course, as far as that comeback win for Hull was concerned. It was on foreign territory for Widnes. It was at the KCOM, it wasn't here, but you know what I mean.
Well, look at this chase now here from Leigh Centurions.
They're revitalised.
Yeah, they are. Danny Craven put under pressure. The kick, the chase, the hitting, there's some ferocious initial contact as well. That one, I think, was from Danny Tickle on Charlie Runciman. And again, good contact, looking to force Widnes back.
The crowd getting right behind their side now. They're under a period of pressure, and the wind is in the sails of the Centurions, and that's an intelligent kick into space.
Oh yes, it could be a great
Brilliant
kick. It is a great kick. 40-20. Rangi Chase pumps the air. No sign of Hugh going on the rack here. No sign of complacency. And let me put the record straight. That comeback win by Hull was here on this ground at the Select Security Stadium.
Well, what about that for a kick off Rangi Chase on the 4th tackle? Look at this, here he is, the man himself.
Here is Charlie Runciman. Halted just 5 metres away from the line. Now it's with Rangi Chase, drops the ball off once again for Alex Gerrard. Good ball, Buchanan.
Nice little cruise play from Tom Alderson.
They're all set on the right.
Lloyd White. Back he comes to Mellor. Nice footwork from Matt Wickley. Wickley rolls over the line. Held up is referee James Charles' version to a standing ovation from the Leigh Centurions fans behind him.
This is great defence, isn't it? Fast feet from Wickley got him up and over the line, but he couldn't put the ball down below.
Okay.
And a good call from the referee. He's in position, calls it early, no try.
High kick. It was tackled in the air then. That's a penalty.
Yeah, Ben Crooks
They're offside anyway, I think.
Well, in that round 13 game that you spoke about, Eddie, when Widnes led 22 points to 0 at one time, the Vikings failed to score a single point in the second half, which obviously helped Hull in their comeback victory here. They certainly need some points, and they were trying very, very hard to get it then.
Well, the 40-20 said all there was to say. They're anxious not to let this slip. Back in the defensive line now as Leigh come forward with Policia dropping the pass off. They're at halfway. 3 tackles gone. Policia thought about going left, then went on his own. Away from Lloyd White. The ball was knocked by a Widnes hand.
A shame.
And Rangi Chase has booted the ball the other end of the field. Referee has called time off. Might have a word in the ear.
Felt that this was a legitimate ball to pick up. There's Chris Houston just getting in the way. The reaction of Rangi Chase. And you're right, his involvement, and Policia, whenever he's on the pitch, he's causing problems. I think Brian Carney, who said he's he is the most annoying player in Super League Elwar Policia. What he is a destructive player. He's a player that takes your focus away.
He's also one who's just thrown a terrible pass though behind Ben Crooks, and he's lost the ball, and all that excitement that the Leigh supporters had now had dissipated.
Yeah, Crooks with the knock on, but the pass wasn't the best from the French international.
It's the basics, isn't it, that's letting Leigh down. It's a couple of times they've made a mistake on the first play from a scrum. Trying to get a penalty here. The Leigh Centurions.
Well, the referee wants a word with Rangi Chase. There's been a bit of argy-bargy going on for the last few seconds.
Look, you need to control yourself. The previous one was borderline. You've then gone and taken him out at marker. Got to control him. Ryan, just calm down. Time is off. Takes a marker out.
Well, he pulled the ankle of Policia. That's why the penalty is given.
Stay. Go.
He is brilliant and he is frustrating at the same time.
It's criminal to give the ball away. When you've got the ball in hand, you give a penalty away. You can't do things like that.
And here comes Danny Tickle now. This is a glorious chance for Leigh to post more points. Policia gets the ball away to Ryan Hampshire. He finds Harrison Hansen. Over the top from Hansen to Matty Dawson. Solid Widnes defence again. But the Leigh player is in touch.
It's a penalty here.
Tackle's complete, then you take him into touch.
Is it Matty Dawson? Tackle was complete, he was rolled into touch.
On the line. Just wait, mate.
The touch just put his flag up though, didn't it?
Yeah, he's put his flag up to alert the referee that he's gone into touch. You know, he gives the referee the information, the referee then decides that the tackle was complete and gives a penalty.
Lachlan Burr then will take it forward for the Centurions right underneath the Widnes post. This is a vital stage of the match, you feel. And Policia looking to exploit this defence. Houston gets to him though and claws him to the ground.
Hold, go.
There's Hampshire once more. Now it's Glenn Stewart.
Play on.
Good ball, a Televe! A Televe is in for Leigh Centurions. The comeback is gathering pace. Well, the Tongan who missed the Wigan win 2 weeks ago, only his second absence of the year. He's got his 4th try of the season, and how important might this be?
Well, a close-range try from the Centurions. Nice build-up play. That's the money ball from Drinkwater. He sucks in a defender, creates some space for the big back rower, and one-on-one, he's going to get over the line. He still has a bit to do under pressure from Lloyd White, but gets the ball down there.
Well, Matt Whitley is the first Widnes Vikings player to get interested. Then Joe Mellor comes in, and there's a big gaping hole for that man to hit. He goes through and scores try, and the comeback could be on here, Eddie.
Oh, it could be. It absolutely could be, because Drinkwater can kick a goal or two in his career, and he has already tonight. Big kick this, big moment of the match. He's missed it. But it's only 10 points. It's still 2 scores, whatever way you look at it. Neil Dukes' men are fighting back.
Well, close to the line here, they're executing the play. Good timing, accurate passing, and players running into the spaces, not the faces of the defenders. He crashed over the line, grounds it on this occasion, there's no doubt. That's a legitimate try. Now 20 points to 10. You know, the game against Hull wasn't the only game that Widnes have lost here when they led. Remember, earlier the year they played Wigan at home. They classed it as a round 20 fixture, even though it was played around the time of the World Club Challenge. And Wigan won that game by 2 points at the very death. The Vikings have had some bad luck with some close finishes, and they don't want to allow this one to be another similar example.
Indeed they don't, and you know, Leigh have broken new ground already this year. First home win against St Helens since 1994. A home win against Warrington for the first time since 1988. A first home win against Wigan since 1984. First win at Hull since 1993. And here they are after their first ever Super League victory against the Widnes Vikings. And they are 10 points behind, but they're staging a second half recovery. How about that pass from Crooks? He finds Matty Dawson. And Dawson just could not get in the field of play quick enough to keep his feet. Hampshire again attacks the line. Back it comes now. Here is Brown. Good hands. Big hit. To knock on. To knock on. He'll come back for the knock on, and Leigh will get head and feed.
Well, they look a different side, don't they? They're playing the game at their pace.
Is this definitely a knock on? It's his head, Eddie.
It's off his head. Yeah, should be play on that.
It didn't look like a knock on the way he approached the tackle. I don't know whether it's the touch as the referee, but there's nowhere near his hand.
Well, a call came from the touch judge on the side, but it's in his head, so you know it should be playing. It's not a deliberate play off the head.
It's difficult for the touch judge and the referee to read that play. We've watched them slow-mo there.
Well, they could check for a restart.
Well, they obviously had no doubt in their minds. Leigh won't be arguing anyway. Here's Patterson. Here's Corey Patterson. How important was that tackle from Joe Mellor? Rawsthorne. Looping pass to Drinkwater. Lachlan Burr. They have a belief to the Centurions all of a sudden. Pelissier. Drinkwater drops it off. Nice turn. Down goes Hopkins. Pelissier, Stewart, Hampshire, short ball, Harrison Hansen. And Widnes scramble and get him back over the line. The right side as far as they're concerned. Pelissier once more, fires the pass. Hampshire short ball. Good defence on the goal line from Widnes. And it kept Mitch Brown out. Oh, that could, oof, I was going to say could be. Has he touched the line?
He's asking
Has
the
he
question.
touched the line?
It's Charlie
Crooks.
Charlie Runciman again, come up with 2 important plays. In the first half, he cut a couple of players down, and he saved a try then. Most certainly, with his first tackle, and then he is bringing the ball away in his second effort there.
That's good play from the Widnes defence. I thought for a minute Ben Crooks had just caught them napping.
Look at this, he was involved in the tackle then again. He got low, made sure that his body angle was right to affect that tackle.
That's how you defend your goal line, get lower than the ball carrier. Widnes coming away from their own line. For Leigh Centurions, been some really good involvements from Glenn Stewart. Passing the ball, taking it to the line, making that extra creative player for the Leigh side.
Lloyd White gets the ball away.
It's another good tackle.
Lachlan Burr in very, very quickly. White again. Danny Craven goes for another 40-20, but this time, don't think he's got the angle quite right. The ball has bounced round to the right-hand side. Leeds Castleford tomorrow then. Top against third in the table in the Betfred Super League. 7:30 Sky Sports 3.
It's amazing, isn't it, what happens at half-time? Leigh Centurions, they look faster, they look stronger. Seem to have more players pushing up and support, and that man certainly delivered the speech of his career at half-time.
Well, you remember that? Cast your mind back 22 minutes. They didn't start the second half well, I'll tell you. The first 5 minutes, Leigh made easy, simple mistakes in the coughed up position until Rangi chases 2 errors. And not necessarily his fault, but those mistakes gifted Leigh a chance here and a lifeline in this match.
And they're looking to take it, but that's not the best pass from Hampshire. It's picked up by Corey Thompson, and Thompson, I think, is going to go all the way and maybe will snuff out this Leigh comeback. Second try for Corey Thompson, right behind the sticks as well. Try is given, and suddenly the pressure lifts at the Select Security Stadium. 24-10, 18 minutes to go. Dennis Betts, Brett Hodgson and Mick Cassidy and co will be breathing a sigh of relief.
Well, Dennis Betts said we've got to up the tempo. And Leigh threw absolutely everything at Widnes in this second half. They've got themselves back into the game, and all of a sudden, that man, Corey Thompson, comes up with a loose ball that's on the ground, and Ryan Hampshire causing some problems. Look at that, he was quick to react. He pushes off Mitch Brown, there's balls on the floor. Matty Dawson can't get anywhere near the left winger for Widnes. And it's been excellent play from the likes of Drinkwater, from the likes of Hampshire, but the loose ball just presents an opening and an opportunity to that man who doesn't wait around. He's aware where the nearest Leigh defender is. He backs himself, he backs his ability, and he knows that that's a precious try.
And Chris Bridge, just seconds ago, has plonked the ball over the top of the crossbar for Widnes. They lead now by 26 points to 10. But look at the clock. There's still over 16 minutes remaining.
But it was a good psychological strike back. Leigh Centurions building that pressure, building that momentum, and Corey Thompson is renowned for the hard work he does coming away from his own line. He's also a difficult player to handle to get on the floor, but that was out and out, blistering pace.
So back come Widnes from the kickoff.
Hold, go.
Good run from Buchanan first up. Here now is Hep Cahill. Never beaten Widnes in Super League before. Leigh in 4 previous attempts. They lost to the Vikings 3 times in 2005. Lost 24-37 to them in round 7 on April the 1st. And trailing here now 26-10, but 16 minutes to go. It's 3 scores they need.
Strong carry from Gil Dudson, 2 carries in this set from Hep Cahill.
And a good run there from Chris Houston, but it's the last tackle coming up for Widnes. Now that clattered into the Leigh player. The referee is going to say that was played at. No, he isn't. I'm sure he said played at, but he was obviously making the question.
There's a question mark at the end of that.
Question to the... Well, I'll tell you what, there's a question to the touch judge.
Yeah, the touch judge, I think, came initially with played at, but I think from that distance, it's more a case of trying to get out of the way. You know, the position that he was in, there's not a lot he can do from that position.
I thought you said if you're moving towards the ball, the last time we had this incident, it's been deemed as played at.
If you're moving towards the ball and make a play at the ball, you know, if you move your leg towards it, players are going to move forward in the defensive line anyway.
Yeah, there's a leg lift here on Atelebe.
It ends up
a bit high.
Sorry, Eddie. It ends up being dangerous. He tackles right around the guts, right around the midsection, drives forward, but unfortunately the weight of there makes it end up looking a little bit dangerous. Not too much in it. Solid defender and works overtime, mopping up a lot of the stuff, a lot of the work that some of these players will appreciate. He does.
2 tries tonight for Corey Thompson, taking his tally in the colours of the Widnes Vikings to 37 tries in 47 appearances. He is going to take some replacing in 2018.
Ryan Ince is a good player. I like the look of him. He's perhaps not the same style as an outside back. Got a lot of potential, that young man.
Pelissier to Drinkwater. Here is Danny Tickle, and Tickle's gone without it. Buchanan will carry it forward. With a 7-tackle set coming up for Widnes here.
Started making a couple of errors now in the last 7 minutes. Leigh, I think since Widnes have started rolling back on the starting front rowers, the likes of Jack Buchanan, Gil Dudson, Hep Cale's back onto the field as well.
And he's
carrying the ball forward.
And you think that Eamon O'Carroll at some point will get another run. He was really impressive in a lot of the work that is unseen. I think John Wells pointed out some of it at half-time. A very diligent, professional Eamon O'Carroll.
Okay, 3.
Whitley. He's impressive, isn't he? Matt Whitley.
He's got good footwork at the line. He's so powerful as well whenever he carries the ball.
Only 21 years of age as well. Great prospect. Heremiah drops the ball off to Rangi Chase. Lachlan Burr had a little bit of a grab at him. Chris Bridges picked up the pieces. And at the back door he finds Cahill. Last tackle coming up then for Widnes here. Heremiah will come down this short side. Mellor just stabs the ball into touch. Nothing risky. Dennis Betts is saying, why didn't we give that a run?
Eddie, there was some space on the inside of him. Look at that space open up. The markers hadn't worked. If someone all of a sudden would have cut back inside, if Danny Craven would have maybe spotted that from the back, could have been another try then. Joe Mellor quite content with just kicking the ball off the field, and Dennis Betts thinking, why didn't we run that play?
Heads in, arms around,
Leigh won't be complaining. Time is against them as much as anything else now. 13 minutes to go. 16 points to make up. Proved though last time out when we saw them, they can score the tries. Solid hit again. That's been the feature tonight for Widnes, this heavy artillery defence.
Well, the first effort from Aaron Heremiah, the number 33, stops him dead. And then the teammates come in, working to take the Leigh Centurion player to ground.
Drinkwater. Puts the ball away to Hampshire. Ryan Hampshire, collared by Houston, still gets the ball away to Maria. Wants to play the ball quickly, does so now to fellow Frenchman Pelissier. Solid run from Hampshire again. Gets them to within 10. Drinkwater stabs the kick in. Tickle was looking for it, Buchanan found it, and the danger goes.
It was good pressure again, didn't give Drinkwater the time to get that kick away. Widnes, that looked a tackle from Maria there. He certainly went hunting. He talked a couple of moments ago about big involvements from big players like Rangi Chase getting 40-20s away. It is about those moments within games, but sometimes it's a collective effort to do the little things really well, consistency that gets you the game and gets you the win.
Ryan Ince coming off the wing to get involved. Chase. Houston. Back to Chase, who's followed the run. He has support either side. Bridges on his right. Decides to take the tackle.
Good defence from Ben Crook, slowing Rangi down here.
Bridge now. Winning across the face and then getting the ball away. Here is Cahill. Stabs the kick in. This has got work to do for Brown, and he does it brilliantly. Makes 10 solid metres.
Well, he's not known for his kicking game, Hep Cahill, but it wasn't a bad effort from the prop forward. Chase was good as well from his teammates. Just 11 minutes to go now, 16 points behind for Leigh Centurions.
Patterson goes down. Oh, Maria makes an error. Fatigue probably as much as everything else, frustrated with himself. Anthony Maria, better than that, the French international. One of 3 former Catalan forwards in this Leigh side this year.
You're right, Eddie, he is better playing that. He was the one who was pushing up with Ryan Hampshire, come up with a big break up centre field. He's worked ever so hard in defence, in attack. He certainly offered himself to people around him. Made 24 tackles. in this game since he's been on the pitch.
See what sort of class Widnes have got from this scrum player. You know, good teams can score here. There's space. It's a fast surface. Let's see the skills here now and see whether they can really put the knife in here and finish off their opponents.
Play on off his leg. Off his leg.
Rangi Chase comes wide to Danny Craven. Referee shouts held. He shouted release. They haven't yet. They do now. Bridge. That was Mellor. With a solid run from Gil Dodson. Did I say this is his 70th Widnes appearance? If I didn't, it is. Herremeyer. Back to Chase. Short ball. Obstruction.
Well, Rangi Chase, Barry talked about in the first half, the double pump at the line where you're sucking a defender. Look at this, sucks him in, and on his shoulder, Danny Craven comes in, but Chris Houston, who was hitting the line outside of Rangi, pulls off a defender.
It's another one of those penalties against Chris Houston, that, Eddie. An unfortunate one, though. Not really his fault, but he got blamed for it.
I'm not going to be allowed to forget that, am I? He's made a great contribution to this victory, if victory it is. Who will make the big contributions tomorrow at Leeds against Castleford? 7:30 Sky Sports 3 to find out. The leaders in action at the home of the 2015 treble winners. Great game in prospect. Top against third.
2, move! Hold, go.
There goes Dame Weston now.
Once again.
Hold, play the ball.
Ian Hood, Maria.
Ball, Gil, move! Come on, hold. Go.
Hood again. Weston once more. Down the middle he goes.
Yeah, that's okay.
Drinkwater. Oh, and Weston's in some strife.
5, move! Hold.
They're struggling.
He is struggling badly. Hampshire. Under pressure gets the high kick away.
Still last.
Well fielded.
Still
Back
last.
to Anthony Maria. It's still the last tackle. Flicked out the back door. There's the knock on. There's another knock on. There's another knock on. And in the end, Glenn Stewart tidies it all up.
Do you know, I'm just watching Dame Weston. He's doing his best to tell the physio that he's able.
Somebody stood on his ankle, didn't he? He's a hip Cale. It's his heel he stands on there as he makes the tackle.
I wonder if that's the bad ankle as well. I don't know which one it is.
Seems to have damaged his knee in the process.
Complete accident, I think, this.
Could get 2 for the price of 1 if he needs an operation on the knee. Goes in for the ankle at the same time. Seems to be okay.
Buy one, get one free.
He's lucky, perhaps. It's a good surgeon. He's coming off.
Well, he's been a great servant to the club, and he's played his part tonight in this league performance. That's what the league fans think about him.
You said it before, there's an awful lot of work in the community. He was absolutely quality in the championship every time we watched him. And there's the sign, thank you, Dane.
The sub's on, is he? Yeah.
Been a tremendous player over his time at the Centurions. Probably not gone his way in Super League, but he's certainly left his mark.
And Chris Houston has also just left the field to a standing ovation from the Widnes supporters. A little bit of a wayward pass, but they managed to retain possession thanks to Joe Mellor. Cahill again, a smack in the face, I think, then for his pains.
He's got so much balance for a big fella at the line.
Bridge, lovely little dummy. Now then, he has got Ryan Ince within, delays the pass perfectly. Ryan Ince will go in for the try that will clinch this game. 100% now for the Vikings. Well, he has been in this team 6 in a row now, and that's his 6th try in Super League. Stefan Marsh taken ill this morning. Ince stepped in, and he has just crowned the victory for the Vikings.
Well, for the young winger, we're really talking about the potentials to fill the spot and the vacancy that Corey Thompson will leave when he goes back to the NRL. But it saw some great work from another player that will leave the game at the end of the year. Chris Bridge finally has body, and the injuries that he sustained during his career has said time is time, but he's still able to produce moments like that, make crucial decisions at the right time, and Dennis Betts, I'm sure he'll thank his centre, Chris Bridge, and the young Ryan Ince.
It won't mean much in terms of league position, this, although it will mean that Widnes move off the bottom of the table, so I suppose that's huge, not to be at the foot of the table, but I just wonder what this win will do moving forward over the next 5 weeks.
Well, I think it'll certainly help Widnes' confidence. They've got, both of these teams have got 11 games left after tonight, 12 should one of them end up in the £1 million game, and I'm assuming that neither of these sides, as the kick just misses the side of the uprights. 11 games to play for Widnes after tonight, and the confidence I think they've got from this, put enough performances like this in the next 11 games and they'll be okay. They won't feature in the £1 million match. Chris Bridge looking really quality centre against the back rower. He's stood him up, gone away from him, and a nice finish there from Ryan.
You've got to look up and play what's in front of you, and that's exactly what Chris Bridge done. He looked up, he spotted Corey Patterson, looked a bit tired. He gets on the outside of him. He knows he's got Ryan Ince, the youngster, with him. And that's just the old wiry fox, all the experience in the world.
The simple things have really made Widnes come to the fore in this game. You talked about Hep Kale. He's kept his feet. He wasn't dominated at the play of the ball. Widnes get the ball back from the kickoff here. Little efforts, small efforts within a game are the foundation that this victory's been built on for the Vikings.
There was a one-on-one ball steal on Rangi Chase, then that'll be the first knock on by Leigh, so head and feed to Widnes. Phil's talking about looking ahead and getting the crystal ball out down the line, and the £1 million match that will come, which is the most heartbreaking and yet most dramatic afternoon of the season. You know, as well as possibly these two, and who of the others, Catalan, Huddersfield, Warrington, even Wigan, who are 8th place in the table, will they be involved from Super League? What's coming up from the Championship? Well, Hull Kingston Rovers, you think, almost a shoe-in.
Toulouse is a difficult proposition for anybody.
Incredible what will happen at the end of the season, and that's in the qualifiers. We'll have a lot of concentration, of course, on the grand final on October the 7th, and Leeds Castleford tomorrow might offers us a little hint about that.
Could go right down to the wire, couldn't it? That's why it's important that you finish in 9th or 10th position. Look to get 4 home draws.
And worryingly for Leigh tonight, Widnes have hit 30 for only the 2nd time this year. The last time they did it, and the only other time they did it, was at Leigh, 37 points to 24. So if they do meet each other later on in the season, and the likelihood is that they will, Widnes will enter the contest with the Leigh Centurions full of hope.
Well, it's in the memory
confidence.
It's in the memory bank, isn't it, Eddie? That's what it is.
Mind you, history's bunk, the coaches will tell you. So where do we go with that?
Well, the players certainly know that they've got the confidence, they've got the edge over the opposition. They can come up with 2 wins, but it's a determined Leigh side that we've seen in this second half.
Yes, I don't think Neil Dukes will be 100% convinced.
Play on.
Nice catch by Nick Ralston. Great catch.
Great catch by Ralston, you're right.
Hold up, it's a turnover on the 10 metres,
guys. Turnover on the 10-metre line because he was held up and bundled over the line here.
Play the ball.
Good catch by him.
It's there, mate, it's just there. Okay.
So Widnes, if all goes according to plan, maybe ball in hand for the last time tonight, but 30 points to 10. As I say, Neil Dukes won't be convinced 100% with what he's seen in the second half, but it has been better from them. Although I say, in the first half they played their part, they were just outplayed by a better Widnes side.
Well, it's 10-all in the second half, isn't it? All the damage was done in that first half. So they didn't have the field position, the mistakes that they made closer aligned, more missed tackles than Widnes, and Dennis Betts will be proud of the way his troops have performed. This could be the 3rd home win on the bounce now, and that's exactly the sort of home form that he's looking for.
And over the previous few seasons, they've had little runs at home that have made their task a lot easier at the back end of the season than they're possibly going to face in 2017. Craven again with an intelligent kick, bouncing all along the surface. Brown moves across, cuts it off, but the enthusiasm of the chase is there for all to see for the Vikings.
They're on it, aren't they, the Vikings? The big players have stood up. They've had 8s and 9s out of 10s, while the players in the Centurion shirts, if we go and rewind back to that Wigan game, it was a high completion game, very few mistakes, everybody on the same page. The Centurions offloading this ball in hope more than anything else now. They certainly haven't matched Widnes in terms of the discipline with and without the ball.
Ross Thorne's looked lively on his debut.
I think it's been a tough few weeks for him, hasn't it? You think a young man starting his career in the Super League level, playing for one club, then shifting to another one. Can't be easy to make that transition. He also has, I think, an exciting future if he can continue to learn and improve each week. Messi play the ball, Messi play the ball.
You're right about Ross Thorne. I think he will be valuable to Leigh if they hold on to him.
And what he is as well, Eddie, I know we saw when he played for Hull that time, he's an incredible goal kicker. Very confident, competent goal kicker who can slot them over from all over the place. When a player that can goal kick comes into a new system, isn't always given the responsibility, so I'm sure he'll prove his worth whichever team he's in.
Didn't hit the Widnes player.
Rangi Chase got a touch of cramp while we're having a look at
come off the Widnes guy in the
Ross Thorne. I think he has.
It's been a fast-paced game. It's only the mistakes that have slowed it down. There's been some good contributors. Rangi Chase, throughout his career, whether he's played at Castleford, Salford, Leigh, Widnes as he is now, he's had the ability to control, dominate, dictate in a game. He's had elements and aspects of that this evening.
Arms around Mitch. Ball. Out.
So Widnes with a minute and a quarter to play.
Move! Here we are, guys. Hold, hold.
That's how far they are away from two valuable points at the bottom of the table. They swap places. Ross Thorne got a hand in there. That'll be brought back to the knock-on. They swap places with Leigh.
Scroll down.
I keep going back to those 9th and 10th spots. Not only is it about playing at home, it's about the difficult journeys and the uncertainty, the unknown of the teams that you've got to go and visit in the Championship.
This has been an exciting game and some good tries scored by both sides, but really they are the teams at the bottom of the table. What excites me tonight is the contest we're going to see tomorrow when Leeds play against Castleford. Who can forget that night early in the season when the Tigers put 66 points up against the Leeds Rhinos, and yet the recovery by Leeds from then, from round 3, has been dramatic. They're also now looking like one of the real strong contenders for both the Cup and the Grand Final. And tomorrow is a great test. I don't know whether I'll sleep tonight, Eddie.
Well, I think you probably will. And actually, you're past your bedtime now. This is Head Cahill. Yeah, that'll be a great game tomorrow night.
Hold.
Leeds could finish 2017 as double winners. And when you think what happened to them at Castleford earlier in the season when they were beaten 66-10 and they were all put on notice, everybody at the club, by the Chief Executive Barry Hetherington, it's been a remarkable turnaround by Brian McDermott and his team.
Sport's about getting back up. The Leigh Centurions will have to get back up off the canvas. They've underperformed this evening, but it's straight back at it next week. They can't afford to let the heads drop.
This is the last play of the match. It could be another try. It could be another try for Ryan Ince. He flicks it out the back door. This is Mellor. Mellor gets it wide. And Wickley is over in the corner. We're going to have a video referee decision to finish off.
The ball comes off a
Neil Jukes has done a lot of shaking of the head tonight, and he's done it again here.
It's a try, sorry.
They've got a try on the field as well. So the scoreline could look really ugly for the Centurions at the end of the next few moments.
I think we're looking for a knock-on off a Widnes player. That was the instruction from James Child. I think that's what he's probably concerned about, but I don't think it touches his Ince, the hand of Ince, as he goes into play for that. I think that's where the issue is. So we'll just play this through to the grounding now. And I think the grounding's fine, and that try will be confirmed.
And it will be given the green light on the 6th video referee decision of the evening. Try to seal the win for Dennis Betts and complete what I'm sure Neil Jukes will say is a miserable night for the Leigh Centurions.
But for Widnes Vikings, it's been a mightily impressive team performance, but within that team, key individuals have really stood up when the pressure has been on. Chris Houston, Hep Cale and that man, Matt Whitley, worked tirelessly in defence, done the hard work coming away from their own line. And a try for young Matt Whitley. We talked about his credentials, we talked about his skill set. I think the biggest and sharpest tool in his kit bag is his bravery. He's as tough as old boots. He's not the biggest of players, but he's as tough as old boots.
I don't think the Widnes players can actually stand there. It's against the rules at the moment. I don't know whether the referee's bothered.
Oh, what a kick. What a kick from Danny Craven to round off a great night for the Vikings. We've tried a few goal kickers tonight of Widnes, and in the end they found one in Danny Craven. 36 points to 10. Second half comeback was on for Leigh. Rawsthorne's try and Vey's try, the one conversion from Drinkwater. But then Widnes got back on the horse again. Thompson, Ince and Whitley at the end. And Bridge added one goal and Craven added the other. 36 points to 10. The Widnes Vikings have won. And moving forward could be a confidence booster, this.
A massive one for Widnes, a massive one. They've got the supporters back on side, they've got the confidence in their own ability back within the team. And there's a better feel now about the Vikings for the second half of the season. We're going to move into the sunny summer months. Far more belief within the side.